Hello and welcome again to the ARC Automation Studio. I'm Alan Avery, a Senior Analyst here at ARC, and today's topic is going to be turbine monitoring and controls. And joining me in the studio today is Tim Shea, Senior Analyst, and he's just completed a study on this topic. Thanks for joining us in the studio today, Tim. To start off, I'd like to ask, what your area of expertise is in the turbine monitoring and controls market, and how has that enriched your analysis of the TM&C space? What are some of the system types that would help the audience better understand this topic?
Thanks, Alan. ARC has been covering the control systems market for over 3 decades now, and I personally have been covering the turbine monitoring and controls market since base year 2015 study we did, and we're covering the following 3 different system types: gas turbine, steam turbine, and water/hydro turbine control systems, and the market dynamics therein.
Next, I wonder what trends are driving customers to increase their investment in turbine monitoring and control technology.
Thanks, Alan. The 3 main drivers in investment of turbine monitoring controls we see are: one is the need for greater efficiency. New turbine control systems will help reduce energy consumption of the turbine, as well as perhaps the process that they're being used for. And companies are very cognizant right now, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact on demand. Lowering costs and increasing efficiency is paramount. Another driver is the increasing demand for energy, and natural gas is seen as the bridge fuel until solar and other renewables will take over 2050 and beyond. The increasing demand, particularly in countries like China and India, as they develop their economies, there's a greater demand for energy, and also in the process of that manufacturing, of which turbines might be used for mechanical drive in the processes and the production aspects. And lastly, the most importantly, the impact of the number, we believe, is a large number of legacy turbine control systems out there that are very much outdated, inefficient, and causing companies great deal of pain and time and cost in terms of unplanned downtime, both for the turbine and the process for which they may support. So the new turbine monitoring control systems will increase the functionality and performance of the turbines using smart sensors, advanced analytics, machine learning, and other remote monitoring solutions that different suppliers may provide. So those are the 3 main drivers we see.
It sounds like a lot of pain points can be addressed. I wonder next, what are the underlying drivers that have been critical to growth in this market?
Well, we see the 3 main drivers, underlying macro drivers critical to this growth in this market. Number 1 is the economic growth. Obviously, at some point in the coming months, hopefully we'll be coming out of this global COVID-19 pandemic and the impact it's wrought upon the economies across the globe. And as we begin and to continue to recover, we see a growing need for power generation and an increasing demand for manufacturing and other processes for which a turbine might be used for either power generation and or mechanical drive for the process. And we also see a increasing demand for turbine monitoring and controls, either internally from the customer or through the third party. Second factor we see is the increasing functionality and performance of the turbine monitoring and control systems themselves. These new systems are going to be designed to enhance turbine optimization and the process for which the turbine might be supporting by reducing unplanned downtime of the turbine and the process as well, extending the asset life cycle of the turbine, and helping to basically overall improve operational performance. This is a big factor, we believe. And lastly, the influence and or the impact of industrial IoT is increasingly having a strong impact in this area, because a number of companies are sort of jumping on their bandwagon for their digital transformation journey, and they're all trying to get a better handle on what this means for them, how they go about it, and things like that. So we think that the impact that these enhanced turbine monitoring controls that'll have smart sensors and analytics and other capabilities will create what we call a smart turbine which will help lower the cost, increase operational performance of both the turbine and the process that it might be supporting. And we also see through the influence or impact of industrial IoT, more companies being able to either provide internally remote monitoring and controls and or through a third party where they can manage perhaps even a fleet of turbines in a number of different locations through one remote center. So we think these are some of the three main factors that are going to be driving growth in the coming years.
Makes sense to me. What are some key strategic initiatives for suppliers to consider, to leverage some of these trends you've mentioned to improve their competitive position in the turbine monitoring and control market?
Well, Alan, we see a number of key strategic initiatives for suppliers to consider in terms of improving their competitive position in the turbine monitoring and control space. One is continue to invest in targeted, uh, focused product development. Hitting those key points, the key pain points that are going to, the 80/20 rule, Pareto rule, where you're going to design solutions that are going to, really impact the key pain points of the customer, and then conversely, also educate the customer on these solutions and how the impact they're going to have. Because a lot of times companies will go out there and will sell a speed or a feed or something like that, and they neglect to sell what's the value of what they're offering to the customer. And I think that's a critical differentiating factor. Obviously, I think it goes without saying that the suppliers should work closely with their end users and customers to work on jointly developing new product developments, features, enhancements, and things like that. And obviously, I would say the users, conversely, should work with this, should work with their suppliers and demand from their suppliers a sort of a partnership type relationship. We believe that through advancements in technologies, that the development of smart turbines will be able to open up potentially new business models for suppliers, either as providing energy as a service or turbine power as a service or mechanical drivers as a service or whatever the appropriate business value might be. And that might be a strong selling point for customers that are looking to, increasingly outsource, we think, some of their operational aspects, given the increasing volatility and challenges that the current market, with the COVID-19 pandemic and things like that, the impact therein, we think more and more companies are going to be considering, looking to a third party to perhaps increasingly take on. And we see this in some work we did on the gas turbine market, where a number of the large OEMs are offering, remote monitoring and control services using extensive service level agreements, which include penalties and performance kind of clauses and things like that, so that they would manage the complete monitoring, control, and operations of the turbine for the customer. Some other factors we see as the increasing demand for perhaps offering remote monitoring and control services, as I just mentioned, and then also lastly, the influence and the impact of industrial IoT has created a strong need now for ecosystems. And that what we mean by is that we don't think there's any one supplier that can offer all the complete, silver bullet, so to speak. We don't think one actually exists, but we do recommend that customers, work with partners that have a strong ecosystem, so they can offer a relatively strong and complete portfolio of solutions. So we see a number of bigger suppliers in the market, adding on. They maybe have previously they offered a gas and a steam turbine monitoring control solution, and now they're adding on through acquisition or through internal development a hydro or a water steam turbine control, because they want to be able to offer the customers a complete portfolio of solutions and services. And we really think that that's where the market is going for the most part.
Thanks for sharing your insights with us today, Tim. That about does it for us in the ARC Automation Studio and our discussion on turbine monitoring and controls. Audience members who would like additional information on this topic or any other topic ARC covers should be in touch with the client manager or the author himself. Thanks for your attention and have a great day.